Hello fellow old schoolers and welcome to the 100th episode on this channel. Time flies. And for this iteration we're going back to an old theme on the channel which is the Archetype Spotlight. And for this particular episode we're going to focus on the Enchantress deck and just gonna follow this archetype in different kinds of matchups. It is, some would argue, the holy grail of old school. Many a player has tried to make the Enchantress deck work, and as the legend goes, whenever someone tries to tweak it, they will gradually discover that the best Enchantress deck is the deck with 0 Viduran Enchantresses in it, and that's always been very annoying for people because you really want to make this card work. She's such a fun mechanic where you can just play cards and play enchantments and draw even more. So we're focusing on one of my mates, Christian here, who has somehow made this thing work, at least to my knowledge. Christian is a skilled player that has played in various tournaments and with very good results, also with his GoBots. It's a robot deck, and he has a lot of experience playing with robots and has tried to synergize these two elements, making a robot deck with enchantresses, and we see it here. Now this is a pretty new brew. Christian usually plays a robot with a heck of a lot of enchantments already, and like copy artifacts and animate dead, and I think the reason why he is dipping his toe into this archetype is because, well, he must have thought, I'm already playing with all these enchantments, why not put in 4 Viduran Enchantresses and then just bump the number of enchantments even more. So he's done so here with Sylvan Libraries, Wild Growth as extra mana ramp. We have the copy artifacts and the animate dead, and in the sideboard we'll likely have copy control magics and stuff like that. So the overall strategy of such a deck is, well, to get a card advantage with the Viduran Enchantress, I think some key elements are important here. You need a bunch of creatures on top of the Viduran Enchantresses, otherwise the Enchantresses will just get removed. So you need a lot of creature threats, and you need enchantments that are good on their own. Some people will just brew this deck with all sorts of subpar enchantments, and it seldom works, because the card advantage will not be worth much if what you draw is not optimal. So somehow you need to make a deck that likes to use these enchantments anyway. And you also need some countermeasures to protect the Viduran Enchantress. Sometimes you can use counter spells, other people will opt for the avoid fate route, and I think Christian has tried both iterations out, and he will likely try both iterations out in the games we're about to see. So the main mission here is to try and brew a deck that is competitive and can win tournaments, but to do so with spicy cards, and that's the real kicker here. So trying to go up against really strong tournament archetypes with spicy cards, but and see if there's somehow a way to make it measure up. And that always seems very impressive to me. I mean, one thing is to make a really spicy deck, another is to make a really spicy deck and actually win tournaments with it. it's really cool. So yeah, we'll see how this archetype plays out in a lot of different matchups in this Archetype Spotlight, and we'll discuss different synergies and mechanics of the deck as we go along. Let's brace for the first opponent. And the first opponent we're about to meet here is a blue, white and black sky setup. And a sky setup is all the tier 1 creatures from blue and white, like Serendipity Freaks, Serra Angels, and you will have moats to block ground forces. You'll have Sonic Blast, Swords of Plowshares, Disenchants, and other than that you'll have counter magic and maybe some Yime-Day Tombs for additional card advantage. So it's like aggro control, but where every creature fly and opposing ground forces is blocked by moats. It can be brewed into a tier 1 deck, and I think the one we're about to see is up there. And on top of that, it's piloted by Martin, who is a very experienced and strong Magic player who's using this particular archetype or aggro control and brings it to a lot of different tournaments. So Enchantress will have her work cut out for her, but let's get ready for round number 1. And we have Martin on the right here, starting off with Sonic Blast, Serendipity Freed, Library of Alexandria, Disenchant, Counterspell, Factory, and a City of Brass. So early Library of Alexandria here. And Enchantress is on the left, starting off with the City of Brass into a Wild Growth here. And then the Sylvan Library. So a library on each side here, but I know which library I'd prefer in this situation at least. There's a Savannah line coming out, and Martin just keeps on drawing with that library. Christian looks through the top 3 cards of his deck here. And then we have a Demonic Tutor. Yeah, just strip mining the library immediately. That's probably the best option in this situation. Putting a halt on it. And there's a counter strip mine on the Wild Growth City of Brass here. So Martin on the right here, he is ahead in a bunch of cards already. Having drawn with the Library of Alexandria and also getting a 2-for-1 with strip mining that City of Brass. Okay, disenchanting the Sol Ring. So Enchantress is going for the mana base here, trying to hold Martin back. He might have a lot of cards in hand, but he'll have difficulties playing them very early on if all his mana sources just gets cracked like this. He does have that Savannah Lion though. It keeps on coming over. A Factory down here. He can't attack with the Lion now. Ooh, okay, Swords to Plowshare the Savannah Lion. Very aggressive play, because there might come a Serendipity Freed at any point now. Another Sylvan Library coming out here. I don't think they stack though, so it's just a failsafe. Okay, attacking with a Factory at this point. Now, he must have removal in hand, right? But you might as well draw it. So Christian blocks with his Factory. Okay, so they just trade. I didn't see the top Factory there, so they could trade like this, and Martin could put a point of damage on Christian because he had to activate the City of Brass in order to activate the Factory. So made a 1-for-1 trade and did a point of damage. Makes sense. Martin picking off, trying to pick a Time Walk, but he gets countered immediately by Aggro Control here. Or Skies, I mean. And there's the first turn to be freed. Okay, Christian has 1 card in hand and it's a City of Brass. Not worth much in this situation though. Putting down a Mox and a City of Brass. Okay, so he's mana fixed, but with 0 cards in hand. And an almost full hand on Aggro Control here. He might have additional counter magic as well. Coming over for 5 points of damage with a Factory and a Serendipity Freed. Christian elects to keep a card here, going down to 4 life, and then putting down a Tuscallion. No, nothing he could do. Okay, fair enough. Skies takes the first one here. So, going to round number 2 after sideboard. Here's Martin's hand. Ancestor Recall, Brain Geyser, Balance, 2 Savannah Lions, and an Energy Flux. He must have sideboarded that in. So, he only has an Underground Sea, but an Ancestor Recall to set it all off, so it's a keeper. Here's the hand of Robo Enchantress, Demonic Tutor, Mox Jet, 3 lanes and 2 Wild Growths. So that's a solid hand as well. He's mana fixed and he can tutor perhaps on Ancestral Recall or Library of Alexandria early on. Putting down the Wild Growth turn 1 and then the Mox. And there's the Ancestral Recall from Martin. Putting him well ahead in the race, but let's hope for him that he drew into some land. Oh, he got a Black Lotus. That Ancestral in his main phase, pretty risky to play it immediately like this. He could have ended up having to discard a bunch of cards. Ooh, 2 Savannah Lions coming out here from that Black Lotus, so he didn't have to discard anything, and now he's on the attack. Doing 4 points of damage each turn. Christian needs to think fast at this point. demonic tutor here. Yeah, what to take? He could take a balance, couldn't he? Yeah, that's what he does. Okay. That rectifies the ancestral recall. Now Christian has to just discard his Tundra because Martin only has a single land, but he gets rid of both the Savannah Lions, and Martin has to discard a bunch of cards from hand here. So I think that was a very nice tutor target in this situation. So Christian is ahead now. Oh, it's getting strip mined though, so now they're even. Chaos Orb coming out. Ooh, Martin is mana starved. Still only the Underground Sea. Yeah, that's... He smells blood, Christian, so... He has that weird way to flip it, though. So we just have to take their word for it that it actually flips. Anyway, it's also kitchen table, so they always count as hitting here. It's not a tournament. Ooh, Enchantress coming out and then a Sushi. And Martin is just completely mana starved here. Copying the Sushi, drawing an extra card within. We do an Enchantress coming over. Okay, Underground Sea here. That's not good. He needs a white mana source. Coming over 8 points of damage here. Oh man, then forfeits the game. Couldn't make it work. So Robo Enchantress rectifies the score here to a 1-1, but Martin was a bit mana starved here. So didn't really seem like a good situation. Okay, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and Time Twist on the starting hand of Martin. He just gets all the good cards here. Time Walk, Mana Drain, 2 Source to Plowshares, and a Disenchant on the hand of Robo Geddon. So Martin passes the turn, casting Ancestral Recall on the other guy's turn. Christian has a Mox, then a Soaring, gets immediately Mana Drained though. So that puts the brakes on Martin, and it also... Oh, Library now. He can draw with it. Such a strong hand from Martin here. All the good cards. Time Walking. Yeah, Christian needs to... Okay, then Chaos Orbing the Library here. There we go. So blocking him each turn at the moment. Savannah Lion coming out. Getting Source to Plowshare immediately. Yeah, Christian has a lot of respect for those Savannah Lions, and I get that. I mean, they can do a bunch of damage. Oh, another Serendipity Freed coming out, getting Source to Plowshare as well at the end step. Here's the first Energy Flux, though. It'll remove the Sapphire. Okay, gets Disenchanted at the end step of Martin. Another Mox coming out. So Martin must have put in a bunch of Energy Flux in here after sideboard. Now he Time Walks. And then tutors before he takes his second turn. Could be a Brain Geyser or something. He has used his library, and his... yeah, it's a Brain Geyser. And his Ancestral Recall. So drawing into 2 cards here, not a bunch, but... I mean, much of the playstyle of the Skies deck is to accumulate card advantage. Sort of like the deck, but way more aggressive with creatures. Christian's looking over his graveyard. He might have an Animate dead. Passing the turn, though. Yeah, that's the bad thing about those Source to Plowshares Christian uses. It puts the opponent's creatures out of the game, so he can't really animate them. Ancestral Recall and getting countered. Ah, brilliant play. So just baiting the counter magic with the Ancestral Recall first and then emptying his hand with a Mind Twist. Or scratch that, he took 4 cards. But a more greedy play would have been just to cast a Mind Twist full power, but then he would just counter it. So this is a brutal punch, negating much of the advantage that Skies has accumulated over this game. Energy Flux coming out, and this Savannah Lion comes over. Enchantress is still under pressure here. Being able to disenchant the Energy Flux, so but it gets countered, that disenchant. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, they just played like that. So now the Moxen are getting fluxed away here. Brutal stuff. And Christian is powerless, literally, to do anything here. But now there's a Triskelion coming out, and it just shoots the Savannah Lion for 1 point of damage. Now it's a 3/3 Triskelion. Oh, but it gets balanced out here. So shooting with a Triskelion for 2 points of damage and then going straight to the graveyard. Martin has to discard a Serenity Befried here. I wonder what his last card in hand is then. Just another land. No, okay, animating it. Oh, the last card was a counterspell. Good pick. Otherwise, he would have another Triskelion staring him down. So he just counters it and puts down a factory. Regrowth from Christian here. Yeah. I wonder what he'll take. Ancestral Recall. So when in doubt, that's always okay to do. Getting it into play here. He has a 6 life, Christian, so he's really under pressure here. Okay, drawing into an Animate Dead. Perfect. I mean, much better than regrowthing the Animate Dead. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, he's playing the Viduran Enchantress first, then playing the Animate Dead on the Triskelion, then drawing a card from the Viduran Enchantress. Awesome. Now, it's the first time we see an Enchantress out here. Okay, paying for the Triskelion in the upkeep with that Wild Growth. Black Lotus coming out, another Wild Growth being put down, drawing another card with the Viduran Enchantress because of the Wild Growth, and then attacking with the Sushi. 4 points of damage, another, wow. Sacking the Black Lotus and then getting another Triskelion out. Is this like an epic turnover here of the game? What do we see? A Chaos Orb though. Okay, this is very difficult. Actually, the way to play this is that he has to activate the Chaos Orb first, and then the other guy needs to respond with the Triskelions. If he doesn't shoot, Christian doesn't shoot with the Triskelions, he can kill a Triskelion without it being able to shoot. Just a small technicality, and it hits. Sometimes people misplay this, where they just shoot after the Chaos Orb has hit. So he attacks with the factory, and the final Triskelion just shoots the factory down. So it's a 2/2 Triskelion at this point, but Christian has a factory as well. So he attacks with both the factory and the Triskelion, and his factory gets disenchanted. No, strip mined. He had a waiting strip mine, Martin here, drawing into a Tundra, losing his own energy mox to the energy flux. Now only, I was just about to say there's only Viduran Enchantress on the table, but another Triskelion coming out here. Getting Source to Plowshare. And okay, yeah, good pick. Christian, instead of shooting with it, just elects to get 4 life points. That is the correct play. He was within burn range from Sonic Blast, and now he can also use the City of Brass a couple of times, and that's pretty important when you have 3 Cities of Brass out. Animating another Triskelion here. They just won't go away. Drawing another card with the Viduran Enchantress because of the enchantment. So I think the Enchantress deck is well ahead in card advantage at this point. Ooh, 2 Viduran Enchantress here. And then a Wild Growth, drawing 2 cards with the 2 Viduran Enchantresses. Okay, that's just brutal. Small Lion coming out, getting shut down by the Triskelion immediately. Look at the card advantage Enchantress, the Enchantress deck accumulates here. With those 2 out. Getting over with a 3/3 Triskelion. Martin is in top deck mode here. He has a bunch of life still, 13 points of life. Attacking again for 3 points of damage. Blocking, but the blocking factory gets disenchanted immediately. Oh, copy artifact on the Triskelion, drawing 2 cards again with the 2 Viduran Enchantresses, going over with the just another disenchant on the blocking factory. This is awesome. Enchantress is down to 5 points of life though. So, I mean, a Sonic Blast here would really put the hurt on him. But 2 Triskelions, I mean, here they come. That's 8 points of damage, and then he'll just shoot. Yep, that's it. What a comeback. Epic. Robo Enchantress took out Skies 2-1 here. Amazing clash and amazing comeback with just getting the engine up and running with those enchantresses, and each time he played an enchantment he just could draw into even more cards. And as said in the deck tech, even the enchantments, they weren't worthless enchantments. It were like copy artifacts and animate deads that just brought in more Triskelion, either reanimating them or copying them. So we have a bonus game versus Skies, the 4th in a row here. Sky starting off with a Time Walk turn 1 and then a Strip Mine. That's a pretty good start, actually. Tundra coming out. Oh, and a couple of Moxion on this side of a Robo Enchantress here. Let's see if Skies can make this game a draw. Cracking the Tundra. Or if Robo Enchantress will solidify its victory against such a strong tier 1 deck here. Okay, copying a Mox. I suppose he's a bit mana-starved then. Getting disenchanted, yeah. So, yeah, disenchanting the Mox. He doesn't want to disenchant the copy artifact because it can be regrowthed into something better. Okay, now he disenchants it. He really smells blood here, Martin. Christian seems to have drawn into a City of Brass, though. It's a Sol Ring on the hand of Skies. Copying the Sol Ring. Getting countered. Just really a brutal fight for mana in these early rounds. Passing the turn back to Enchantress. Nothing coming out. It's the first Savannah Lion here. Thing of beauty, actually. Those black bordered cats. Balance, okay. It's an early balance, but it can be played now because there's only a single blue mana up for Skies, and we've only seen counter spells out of him, no power sinks, so it can't be countered here. So it makes sense to do this, just to get rid of it. And yeah, make a level playing field. Okay, so the balance makes him, that's a pretty nice trick. So the balance makes him discard some of cards of his own, then he discards a Triskelion, keeps an animate dead in hand, and then animates Triskelion. So now there's an energy flux up. Yeah, so he uses the Mox to pay for the Trisk. He could have kept the land untapped though. Okay, getting immediately Swords to Plowshare, he just shoots Martin for 2 and shoots the Triskelion for 1 so that he can animate it later on. Then it goes to the graveyard instead of dying. Workshop coming down. Another animate dead, getting mana drained. This is a really nail biter here. Chaos Orb coming out. Cracking the Workshop. Here we go. Hitting the Workshop like this. Only 3 lands left on the Enchantress. And there's a certainty free. Getting immediately Swords to Plowshare though. They just takes turns wrecking each other. Sushi coming out here. Sonic blasting it. This is insane. Another factory coming out, attacking with the factory. And he has a blocking factory left to handle Martin's eventual counter-attack here. Attacking again with the factory, gets blocked, and then he pumps his factory, and they have to trade. Really top deck mode here. But the factory keeps on going. There's a Savannah Lion, he can keep the factory off his back. As there's only a single factory, it can't pump itself doing an attack, obviously. So it's only a 2-2. Oh, another Triskelion coming out. Yeah, shooting the line immediately. And a counterspell just drawn in by Skies. Just a turn too late here. Otherwise, you could have countered that Triskelion. This is actually pretty brutal. Coming over 4 points of damage here. And he can't shoot for 3, so the next attack step, that'll be game, I think. No, almost. Not entirely. Armageddon. Okay. Oh yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, all the lands die now, and then how will you pay for that Triskelion? You can't. So he shoots him for 2, and the Sol Ring is just tapped from now on, pays for itself. Planes coming out. Strip Mine on the side of Enchantress here. Chaos Orb. then a Mox, and then cracking. Yeah, that makes sense. Cracking the energy flux here with that weird flip. Okay, so now the Sol Ring is back online though for Skies, and there's a Mox Ruby. Sylvan Library, pretty key. Oh, cracking the Lotus just to counter it. That makes sense. That Sylvan Library would be brutal. Oh, there's another animate dead on the Triskelion. And it gets immediately Swords to Plowshed, shoots for 2. No, shoots for 3. Yeah, and then goes out of the game. Okay, Sky's scrambling here and says to recall, trying to get back into the game. I mean, the pressure is relentless with those animate deads. It keeps on going. There's a wild growth on the strip mine. What? That's so weird. But I mean, it's the only target he has at this point, and he needs the mana. Skies needs to drop perhaps a Serra Angel or something. He almost has the mana for it. It's a factory and a sushi. Yeah, okay. Sonic Blasting it, putting Skies down to 1 point of life here. He does have a defending factory against the other factory, but that can be strip mined now. If Christian elects to do so. It's an unfortunate glare. Is that a strip mine on the top of Martin's cards there? I don't think it is. Top deck mode, both of them. He doesn't risk it, Christian. He could sacrifice his strip mine to strip mine the other guy's factory. Okay, Mind Twist here, and then come in with his own factory, but it would likely just remove his factory and his strip mine, and he'd be screwed. Okay, Mind Twisting his entire hand here. There's a Vidonian Enchantress. It won't attack, but it can provide some more card draws later down the road. Library coming out. Another land. Yeah. 1 point of life left on Skies. And Christian has barely been touched. I mean, he's at 17 points of life. There's a moat though. Pretty key. Oh, that's a Triskelion though. And then shoots him. That's such a nice draw. So 3-1 to Enchantress. This is like, yeah, it's insane. So we're going up against the next opponent here. It's red, black, and green. Ponza, a Robo Ponza here. So we'll have some robot on robot action, I presume. And Ponza is a strategy where you try to wreck the other guy's mana. So it'll be interesting to see how the Enchantress will handle this. This is the Ponza's hand. Sylvan Library, Demonic Tutor, Regrowth, and Ice Storm, and a bunch of lands. Here's the hand of Robo Enchantress. Regrowth, Wild Growth, Disenchant, Library of Alexandria, only the Library of Alexandria, then Enchantress, Triskelion, and the Sylvan Library. So he doesn't know what he's against here. He keeps his hand, he keeps his library because he wants to draw into it, but we saw the other hand, that library will not have long to live. But Christian is on the draw, so he gets a draw out of that library, at least a single draw out of it. Getting strip mined immediately, he gets a draw. Let's hope for him that he got some lands. As a Tundra though. And the player on the right here is Peter. He's also a very experienced tournament player, and he's one of the guys behind the Long Island Cup, which is arguably, it is one of the biggest tournaments in Denmark at the moment. Putting down a forest here, and then Regrowth. Probably the strip mine, right? Yep. That's really, and he has. We saw that he has an Ice Storm in hand, so that will be very, very brutal as a follow-up. No. Okay, yeah, there's the Ice Storm, and then there is the strip mine back in hand. No lands left on Enchantress here, but neither on the Ponza either. Just a Mace of Ith, so that won't provide him any mana. Demonic Tutor here though. I wonder what he gets here. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, crumbling. Just doubling down on the strategy, crumbling the Mox. and then strip mining the Tropical Island, putting down a Sylvan Library. Now he can dig. Oh, such a brutal top deck card from Enchantress, getting that City of Brass out and Wild Growth on it. The Sylvan Library will strengthen Peter's ability to dig for more lanes or more lane destruction, but whatever he might need. He might even, he sacrifices some land, some life just to get additional card draws here. Okay, getting a Mana Vault and a Factory out here. That means next turn the Triskelions can start popping out. He'll have 6 mana. Oh, another top deck draw. Great top deck draw from Enchantress here. Getting a Bayou. Now has 3 mana despite having lost so many mana sources these first few rounds of the game. Disenchanting the Sylvan Library. I hope he has another disenchant because there might come a robot now. Nope, that's a book. Okay. Okay, he did have another disenchant. Getting rid of the book. It looks like regrowth. No, the Sylvan Library of his own. Taking a point of damage from the City of Brass, passing the turn to the other player. So just getting rid of the other guy's permanents and then getting a Sylvan Library out of his own. Now attacking with a Factory here and then putting down Triskelion. Yeah. That's what I anticipated. Okay, he has a Swords to Plowshares though. So he likes to shoot the other guy for 3 and then it's removed from the game. Then he takes, as if we do an Enchantress coming out and passing the turn back, and Peter takes a point of damage from his tapped Mana Vault here. Getting out of Chaos Orb. Now what to pick? The Enchantress, the City of Brass with the Wild Growth, or the Sylvan Library? Difficult choice for sure. Okay, he picks the City of Brass. Keeping on to the land destruct strategy. Then attacking, untapping, and it's and pumping himself and attacking again with the Mace of Ith. I'm not really sure how that works, but he did do 3 points of damage, I think. Yeah, he'll likely declare an attack, then untap his own with the Mace of Ith, pump him, and then as a response to it, pump himself, then untap, and then attack. I'm not really sure you can do that, but we'll see. Take a point of damage with the Mana Vault here. And for his part, Christian regrowthed his Tundra just to get some white mana online again. Really fighting for every mana source at this point. Attacking with both factories. Yeah, and then doing this weird trick again. I think he's untapping it and pumping it and still doing damage. And I don't know how that works. I'm not even sure it's entirely legal. If you guys see this, tell me in the comments section please what this trick is about. I've never seen it before. I can't make it work in my head, how you'd make it function like that. Okay, Chaos Orb coming out, electing to track the Mace of Ith, and I suppose when you can do all these tricks with it, I suppose that's a valid target. Otherwise, I would have taken one of the factories. Another point of damage to Peter from that tapped Mana Vault. It has done a bunch of damage at this point, but he is very offensive, putting more and more things in. Oh, okay, there's a Black Lotus with a Lightning Bolt, finishing the game here. Just piling on the attacks. Replay here. So 1-0 for Robo Ponza. This is the next battle after sideboard. Tropical Island, Bayou, Wild Growth, copy artifact, Sylvan Library, a Sushi, and a Verdun Enchantress. Other hand, Sushi, Juggernaut, and Triskelion, Wheel of Fortune, Fireball, a Mox Jet, and a City of Brass. Pretty light on the mana. Super U with a Wild Growth turn 1. Pretty risky, it might get destroyed immediately, but we've seen the hand and it won't be. Okay, Verdun Enchantress coming out, getting immediately Lightning Bolted though, that's pretty key. How did he cast it though? 3 mana, I thought it cost 4. My bad. Okay, fireballing the other one, yeah, just really, third one, really just trying to stop his combination from working here, but Christian kind of insists on it, drawing into 3 Verdun Enchantresses. Would have been epic if they all 3 were on the board at this point, but we can't fault Peter this, he needs them gone. Copy artifact on the Juggernaut. Getting another draw with the Verdun Enchantress. Imagine if there were 3 down here. That's an insist or recall straight out from that copy artifact. Juggernaut coming over, getting blocked. Yeah, it has to attack each turn, by the way. Could have attacked with the factory as well. Oh, but he chooses to play a Sushi instead. So another Wild Growth on the Tropical Island, activating another card draw. Then copying the Sushi, getting another card draw. That's a Mox. Look at that engine go. That was so nice. And getting a Sylvan Library and another card draw, and then a land drop with a Library of Alexandria. And he can get within library range pretty quick with those Verdun Enchantresses. He must have had extra mana in his pool for that Sylvan Library. Okay. There's a workshop coming out, and there's a Triskelion. He could elect to shoot the Verdun Enchantress perhaps. He's attacking with the Sushi and the other, and gets blocked by the copy artifact. Now the Sylvan Library is online. Christian could elect to sacrifice some life. If that would let him draw enough cards to get within library range, it would be pretty brutal. And also he needs obviously an answer for that Triskelion ASAP. How many cards does he have in hand? I think he has 3. So it might be a bit optimistic taking 8 points of damage just to get up to 5. It would put him to 6, but not within library range. He has a Sushi and then a Time Walk. Looking through it again. At least he can block the Triskelion now. Then mind twisting the hand of Peter. Wheel of Fortune in the book. Okay, that's a nice harvest. Can he keep on going? It looks through the graveyard. He might have an animate dead. Oh, but he doesn't have any black mana sources, so that's probably not it. Perhaps a regrowth. It looks like a regrowth play. What to pick here? Could attack and then regrowth a Time Walk perhaps, or regrowth a copy artifact. That's probably better. If it is a regrowth. Yep. Okay, doing it a bit in the reverse here. Yeah, regrowthing a copy artifact. Probably copying the Triskelion. And then drawing a card with the Verdun Enchantress. Okay, there's another thing coming up here. Peter wants to shoot the Verdun Enchantress as a response, so he can't draw a card, and then he wants to shoot himself. And I think these guys think that the copy artifact will fizzle then, if he does so. But it won't. He will be able to just target the Sushi instead. We had that coming up in video number 98 where we looked it up. So, but I think these guys, they don't know that. So Christian elects to copy his Sushi instead. The correct play here would be to copy the Triskelion. If Peter likes to shoot his own Triskelion, he'll just switch target to the sushi after that, and he'll get rid of the Triskelion entirely. Okay, coming over with the sushi, he blocks, then he pumps, then he shoots the sushi with the last counter from the Triskelion. And took a point of damage from that City of Brass. So yeah, Ponza is under pressure here. Ooh, Tetravus coming out. It's so much, it's so back and forth this game. Now Peter is ahead again. What's this? A Triskelion coming out and then the sushi attacks. Huh, yeah, pretty damn brutal. I think he should trade the Tetravus, but he might have a plan. Just mean he could have traded the Tetravus with the sushi because it is risky to have there, as the other deck has so many copy artifacts in it, and he can just copy his Tetravus, and he can't even split it up because then the opposing Triskelion would just shoot him down. Okay, but he gets down a Triskelion here, so it's really just a robot face-off here. Peter is running off again. He's hanging on in this game by the skin of the nails of his fingers here, getting more counters for Triskelion. And Enchantress looking through the top 3 cards and doubling down on robotic action here. Another Triskelion coming out. And then attacking with the sushi and the copy artifact sushi and a Triskelion. Yeah, so he's... Ponza is just trading up here. Okay, passing the turn. We need some key cards from him here. That's an Abyss. That's not usable at all. Yeah, it could hold the Enchantress away, but it won't really matter. Those Abyss are almost dead draws in a matchup like this. Okay, so Christian attacks here, and the Tetravus trades with the Triskelion, and the sushi gets in for 4 points of damage. There's a Demonic Tutor from Enchantress here. Strip Mine, that's an orthodox play. Yeah, but it cracks him out of any ability to play another artifact that costs 6 mana. So no Triskelions and no Tetravus to save him. So I suppose it does make play. It does make sense. He did draw into a Strip Mine though, so now he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Oh, Animate Dead. So many threats here. Coming over with the sushi again for 4 points of damage. Now we need something. No. Oh, we even had a counterspell on the hand of Enchantress here, just as a fail-safe. So pretty secure victory at the end here, even though it was very much a back-and-forth game between Enchantress and Ponza here. So yeah, we have other games, but it'll go way beyond an hour if I keep on uploading. So we'll end the celebration here for now, and I'll be sure to be back with some more games with this particular archetype, the Enchantress, later on down the line. So thank you guys for watching this Archetype Spotlight with me, and for hanging on for the first 100 episodes with this old wizard here and celebrating this number with me. And here's hoping for 100 more. I will see you in the next one.